Hi, everybody. Good to see you again. The last time that we talked, one of the things I talked about was the process of socialization. And if you remember, at the end of it, I told you you could break out. You could break out of your socialization at any point in time. But the question after that becomes what happens afterwards? Because one of the dangers when you break out of your negative thoughts of people of color or the LGBTQ community or people with disabilities, some people are like, I am free of these negative thoughts. I am ready to save the world. Not quite yet. Because there's another process you need to go through, the process of unlearning, or as Barbie Hara called it, the cycle of liberation. I call it the process of liberation because it takes some time. So, let's learn about what happens after we break out of our negative ideas and how we can build a better world. Step one, you wake up. You realize that the way that things have been going, it doesn't make sense. And that's an internal process. That's an internal process of whatever happens, whatever crisis, whatever cognitive dissonance, lets you know that something is wrong and needs to change. Next, you got to get ready. This is this internal process where you're learning, where you're reading, where a lot of you are watching podcasts right now, reading books. That is that interpersonal discussion that you are having with yourself. That's you sitting and being in community with yourself, with your thoughts, and really figuring out what's going on and thinking about how can I dismantle my own negative thoughts? How can I dismantle my own processes? And so that's that internal work where you're learning about your world and you're relearning how these systems of oppression work. And it takes time. So don't rush to try and become a hero. Get ready first. Next, reach out. This is where you do start reaching out to other community members. You start reaching out to people who can help you with your next steps. You are still learning, you are still developing, but this gives you a chance to reclaim some of those connections you may have lost. There are other people going on this journey with you, so you don't have to do it by yourself. So don't be afraid to reach out into your learning. And as you reach out and as you learn, you get to build community. Now, something that's super important when it comes to building community, you are building community with people like you, and you're building community with people different from you. So when it comes to, for instance, the matter of race, if you were a white person and you're going on this journey, it's actually really important for you to connect with other white people also going on this journey. Because if you are going through the emotional stress, if you were feeling sad and worried and confused and all of that, you don't want to put your emotional crisis on people of color, because then that is another level of labor that they would have to do for you. But if you're working with it with other white people who are also going through that, then you can support each other and find ways to be better without adding another burden on marginalized communities. Also, if you're reaching out to people who are different from you, people who are marginalized, then you're saying, okay, I am ready to be whatever you need me to be. I am ready to grow wherever you want me to grow. And that openness is super helpful. And that openness lets the people know you are ready, you are down for the cause, and you're ready to figure out what you need to do without trying to run and take a leadership role. Next step. Organize. People have already been fighting this fight. They've been fighting this fight forever. They have processes already in place. So if you are ready to join, then you might be put to work with flyers. You might be put to work making phone calls. You might be put to work organizing other people. There are ways to get to work. So this is you waking up, you getting ready and learning within yourself, you reaching out to make connections, building community. All of this is before you get to the work. And then we start working and hopefully creating change. When you create change, this is the part where you start talking about systemic change. This is when you're talking about policy. This is when you're talking about institutions. This is when you start building and figuring out, okay, I'm in this structure. How do I break it? How do I change it? And there are people who have already been in the process of breaking and changing. So your next step is to join in that change and figure out what you can do to support it and what you can do to make it stronger. And finally, self and community care. So this is the part where you're maintaining, because the purpose of allyship and connection, it is an ongoing process. The thing they don't tell you is that you are going to screw up. It will happen. And when that happens, you apologize, you make a commitment to never do that thing again, and you take care of yourself. Those of us who have been in this fight for a long time know that self-care is just as important. And community care allows you to help other people. Because guess what? Someone else, as you're going through the process, has woken up. Someone else is trying to get ready and they might need you. They might be reaching out to you. So it all continues as a process. And one more thing. When you're talking to people who may not be on the same journey as you are, it can be hard. It can be challenging. Because when you are here creating change and the person you're talking to is still back here dehumanizing other people, that is a long way to try to make a sustainable connection. So that requires an entire other set of skills. And we'll talk about that in my next video. Hope you learned something. I hope you are working really hard, learning, discovering things for yourself. And I'll be back. And I look forward to your journey and your future success. See ya.